Hey guys, how's it going? So, here's the video to do with the rhythm we talked about this week. Now, I'm going to start from the very beginning again. If you remember back to how we used to write our rhythms before, or how we used to play them, I'm going to get a sheet of paper. I'm just going to run you through this. And everything I talk about, I've written in a sheet, and the sheet is linked in the video. So you'll see right under the video, there's a place you can click a link, and you can view the sheet from there. Okay, now, to begin, we used to write our rhythms like this. So, you'll see there I have my down, 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 up. And that worked for a lot of the lessons. And it worked for starting out and for playing for a good while, of course. But, there's a bit of a problem with that. The thing is, when you look back on this, if you're at home right now and I said to you, hey, let's play this with an E minor chord, do you know how fast it goes? No. Do you know, we know what direction to hit, we know we hit the downs and the ups, but how far apart are they really? Is it going down, 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 up? Maybe it's going down, 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 up. It could be going down, 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 up. You know, we don't fully know. And if you're wondering, if you're thinking, well, this always worked, how come it doesn't work now? What's changed about these arrows? What's changed is, in lessons or other times, I'd say to you, right, here are the arrows, and I play it for you. So you'll see here, if I got my pick and I went, okay, that bit there, it goes down, 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 up. Now you look at the page and you connect what you heard with what's on the page. So that's how it worked. Now, as you've probably realised, there's a missing piece there. It's me, like, telling you how it goes. So, it'd be kind of cool to learn to play rhythms without having me there to say it to you the whole time, wouldn't it? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to show you the other way. Now, as you know, in songs, we count as we play. We keep the beat. We'd be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay? Now, of course, we do that to keep in time. And the thing about it is, I asked a few people this week, what's the difference between the beat and the rhythm? Because we know both words, but both do slightly different things. Okay? So the beat is the steady thing that's going the whole time underneath the song. The beat is when a drummer counts us in. If you ever played a concert, you might have heard the drummer or me count in, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and it goes over and over like that. And that stays steady, okay? If you've ever tapped your foot along with the song, you'd usually tap it in time with the song. Rhythm, on the other hand, is slightly different. The rhythm can change. Like an example I used this week, you probably heard this on a million football matches, like, put in team name here. So with that, that's a rhythm. You can hear it's changing. The beat though would be very steady. It'd be going. Sounds way more boring, doesn't it? So the reason it's important to know both is because we need to keep a beat with our count, but then we need to play a rhythm over that. Okay, so I'm going to write out here. I've written out 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how you keep your count. Now, we're done with arrows for a while. Shocking news. I'm going to write these guys above it. Okay? Now, these are your new hits. So if you counted with me, if you went 1, 2, 3, 4, hit, 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 strum on whatever chord you want. Okay? You'll probably notice there's one bit of info missing there. I didn't tell you which way to strum. So, I'm going to write D for down and U for up. So now looking at this, you'll see you go down, 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 up. Okay? And by the way, if anyone has any questions at any stage during this video, leave a comment underneath and I'll reply. Okay? And trust me, there's no such thing as a silly question. I'm happy to answer any questions. Now, the next thing is, we've established that you're going to keep your count. You know whether to hit down or up, and you know you're meant to hit it with these guys, okay? And the other thing about a beat is, like, a beat is, think of your heartbeat. Your heart, hopefully, should be going real steady. Your heart would never go bum, 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 bum. You know? So that's an easy way to remember the difference between beat and rhythm. Now, the next thing is, you always need to count before you start playing. Like, could you imagine if I was there playing with you and there was maybe 2 or 3 more people, maybe a drummer, a singer, and all of a sudden, we all got our chords, we all got ready, and one of us just went without telling anyone. So it's almost like the on your marks, get set, go part of a race, okay? You kind of need to give everybody a heads up, so you will count. Now, when you count, it gets a bit long-winded after a while, every time going 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we begin. So what you need to do is, you need to shorten it up. We're just going to count from the 3, 4, and we're in. Okay? That gives us enough a count to get a feel of the beat, and it isn't too long a time to be counting for. Alright? Now, the next thing is, when you count. It's all okay counting without playing, but it's when you begin playing that you may find that you may count 1, 2, 3, 4. You might rush one of the counts slightly, and you mightn't even know you're doing this, but I'll show you after a while how to figure out if you are doing it or not. When you're counting that, the thing is, you need to think of something that counts so steady. And the example I used in lessons is, hopefully this focuses, yes, see the second hand on my watch? It's so steady, never changes. It goes. Could you imagine having a watch that didn't do that? Like somebody said one day, they said, I was close enough with the count, I was just a bit off. But I said, yeah, but you know what? If you keep going around and around, if you keep going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, if you're a little bit off the first time and you're a little bit off the second time, the third time, the fourth, that keeps getting bigger and bigger, and eventually you'll totally separate with everybody else you're playing with or with the song. Okay? So when you count, keep in mind that you need to act almost robotically, like a second hand on a clock. You need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, then you strum. Where we have a go. Let's get, if you have your guitar on you there, I'd like you to give me an E minor chord. Okay, so index finger there, second underneath, and we're going to count in together. Okay, and remember we count from 3. You all set? Here we go. We'll go 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and that is your rhythm exercise. Now, you may be there going, that is so easy, it's only downs. But we're not doing it so you hit downs, we're doing it so you get used to counting, and remember, count out loud, because that way you'll hear if the numbers are connecting with your strum. We're doing it to get more used to hitting it and counting at the same time to connect up both, to have more solid rhythm. Because to move on, I played a really cool tune this week called I'm Coming Out to a few people. This song goes. If you look at my right hand there, it was going mad. But the thing is, you need to get this stuff solid first, and then we get stuff a little bit trickier and we step up to the other bits. The next thing. If you can do it once, it doesn't necessarily mean you can do it 20 times in a row. And like, songs do go on for a few minutes. So even when you get this working once, make sure you can do it over and over again. Okay? Because for all you know, maybe you get it the first 3 or 4 times, but maybe the 5th time it gets a little shaky, 6th time gets shakier, 7th time it might come apart completely. Okay? I know, because I made that mistake once. It was something for a school show, and I could play it perfectly once, and I left it at that. And the school show came around, and let's just say it didn't go quite so well. So the last bit here I'm going to talk about is, well, there's 2 more bits left. The last bit is, second last, is how do people in cars know what speed to go? There's signs on the road, isn't there? So you see on the road, if it says 50, you have to do 50. If it says 70, you do 70, okay? It's to keep you within a limit. And that is measured in miles or kilometers per hour. Now, of course, it'd be a bit silly to say, hey, let's play this song at 33 miles an hour. It doesn't translate to guitar that well. What we measure our speed in music is beats per minute, or BPM for short. Somebody said one day, they're like, yeah, you like the heart rate. And it's true, your heart does beat so many times per minute. So again, that's tying in music with the beat, with the heart. Now, we'll get into more detail again about how to get those speeds, because even here, looking at this, what I've written here, that's coming next, there's nothing written there yet to let us know how fast to go. And that's so important, because you need to know how fast to play what you're playing. So the last bit is, we counted and we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and we hit it every time we named the beat, didn't we? It'd be a bit boring if every bit of music went that way, I think. So there are little things you can add in between the beats. So if you want to count with me here, okay, you ready to count? We're going to go 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you count along and you count over and over, okay? So, and watch what's going to happen. I'm going to go 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Did you notice the way I slotted in the ands in between the beats? Okay, so with that, you need to watch out that we start counting like that as well. Okay, so if you look on the page I've sent, you're going to see that I have my 1 and 2 and so on. Okay, now you have hits over the beats, the numbers, and you have hits over the offbeats, which are those ands. And again, make sure you're saying it out loud as you do it. It's so important. And you know exactly what to do. It's a nice rhythm. It's just down, up the whole time. I'll demonstrate it for you. So, I'd go like this. I'd go 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Every time I said the numbers, 1, 2, I was on the down. Every time I said and, I was on up. And watch out, the very common thing that can happen with this one is you could easily start rushing your ands. You could go 1 and 2 and 3. So watch out that you keep it so steady like the watch hand, okay? The other bit then was, there was one other bit which is slipping my mind right now. The 1 and 2 ands. No, it'll come back to me again. But those are the main points of what I wanted to talk about, okay? Now, what you do with this stuff. This video is more about explaining more and more how all this stuff works. Like a movie that you could watch. I bet there's a movie that you've watched loads of times. And I bet when you watched it the first time, you laughed at certain things or you noticed certain things. When you watched it the second time, you noticed a few extra things or you found something funny or spotted something that you'd never seen before. And maybe the third, the fourth, the fifth, you spot extra stuff. So with this video, I think it'd be a great idea to watch it 2 or 3 times. I bet you're going to hear extra stuff or notice extra stuff you never noticed the first time or the second time. So that is it with rhythms today. It's all about the understanding of them. I'd recommend you try them out with one chord at a time, because again, it's all about getting the count, and count out loud, with the strum. I wouldn't go changing chords just yet, because watch what happens if I was a student learning and my teacher sent me this and I thought, yeah, I'm going to try a few chords with it. That other stuff's boring. Watch what could happen. I could go like this. I could go 1 and 2 and... Because I went to change chord, I stopped paying attention to my strum. I stopped paying attention to my count, keeping the beat. All my attention went to that chord change. And because it did, I messed up my rhythm. Okay? So we're going to get this thing so solid with one chord that when we go to add on extra chords, it just runs in the background smoothly. And the chord changes then. You can look at the chords and you're not even thinking as much about this. It's just working for you. I always use this example because it's such a true one. Like, if you think back now, even look at if you have a younger brother, sister, or cousin or something who are learning how to walk. When they learn how to walk first, you can see they're putting everything into it. They're like up against the wall and then they wobble and they might walk for a few steps, then they'll fall. We all went through that. But I think you'll agree nowadays we do it even without thinking. You just get up and you walk. And not only do you walk, it's pure going in the background. You could eat while you walk, you'd be talking to a friend while you walk, you could be on your phone while you walk, you can run, you can do all this extra stuff. So this is our walk that we're working on. We're working to get this steady. We're working to get 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that is it for today. If you have any questions whatsoever, leave me a comment in the box below, okay, and I will reply. Have a great weekend, guys.